And the state and national, we find that Native Americans across the United States are still the lowest academic achievers. And that's not because Native Americans do not have the ability. So what is it? I've spent the last 35, 40 years hearing that minorities and American Indians are the lowest. And my challenge is that can't be the children's. It can't be the children. Because for one thing, in my own family, in the families that I know at Sklallam, they're highly academic people. And so I believe that we needed to, when we developed this program, that we needed to concentrate on what they can do. What can the youngsters achieve? What is their achievement in terms of not being a gap? If we show them and teach them, they will follow. And that's what I believe is our responsibility as academic leaders in this field of education. So I'm meeting the academic gap, the national and the state gap, by taking the positive half-full cup rather than the half-empty cup. I do not want to hear that anymore. I don't care about the statistics. I'm looking at raising the bar for academic standards for Native Americans, and I bring that to every meeting that I go to, and I'm saying that everywhere, so they're starting to listen.
Well, as a parent, I certainly have a lot of aspirations for my children. I want them to go to college. I want them to do well in school. Right now, they're at the grade school level. They go to Wolfle Elementary, and I expect them to try hard and be respectful, and I think they do a good job right now. So while they're not doing as good of a job academically as I would like, they are trying, and that's all I want them to do right now.
Because one thing I have heard is just that a lot of schools and communities don't have a mutual relationship going between them, that there's no communication, there's not a mutual respect going. And I feel that one thing that we do have with the Little Boston community and with Wolfle is that we do communicate, we do have a respect for each other. There's a friendship there, there's a bond there. And I would say, if nothing else, that's what we have going for us, is that there is a partnership there. And from what I hear, that's not always real common between the schools and communities.
I believe in partnerships. Since when I first came to Kingston Middle School, and I looked at our school and I looked at our connections, I felt that we needed to improve on our partnerships. And that included our parents, that included both Suquamish and also Sklallam. And so that's kind of what I looked at the very beginning, what we could do to help that partnership. And one of the philosophies I have is open the door.
Well, one of my other jobs is as test coordinator in the building, and so one of the things that I do is to become very intimate with all of the test results. We have noticed in the approximately 12 years that we've been working on the Washington Assessment of Student Learning, that our test scores have been increasing dramatically. We went from an average reading score of 32% to an average, that was in 1997, to our averages up in the 85 percentiles now, which is fabulous. And that's for our general population. We have made similar gains with our Native population, but they started lower, and while they've been making great gains, 50 points, there's still a gap between our Native kids and our white kids. And teachers have been working very, very hard with the tribe to try and figure out how to close that gap, but it has continued to be a need for us.
My primary concern was the academic gap, and the biggest concern is English, mathematics, and science. And so I decided that I would build a program around science and math primarily, with some background, some work in writing, if possible. I was pretty firm about my guidelines about that, because I did not want the coaches as I developed that, the people who I wanted to work for the youngsters were needing to be concentrating completely on academics. They had to be people who was willing to sit in the classroom, work with all students in the classroom to meet the needs of S'Klallam students, and become part of the culture of each school that they lived in. So Wolfle and the middle school agreed to that. And so we designed with the staff on what we would need, and they came up with brilliant ideas. One of the requirements I had for the grant was that they be trained, that we can't send people into a school that have not had any experience in education.
On homonyms, what is a homophone?
The words that mean the same.
No,
That
they
look-
sound
They
the
sound
same.
but they look the same.
They sound the same, but they mean
Look
something
different.
different.
And they
They're
mean
spelled
something
different.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first word is
I was confused
herd.
until she said
There is a herd of cows.
I think they're both doing pretty good, and they love school, which that's great. You know, my 5th grader loves school, and I can't argue with that. It was a different environment when I was going to school, so that was I'm really liking that. I appreciate that.
I just was so thrilled with my teachers willing to open the door and allow you to come in. I was thrilled with the fact that Alice Brake put all the notebooks together to help you. That took hours and hours of her time. And I think that has helped. I think that at the end of this year we need to sit back and we need to evaluate it. What can we improve on? What can we do better?
And one of the big mottos we've had is not becoming the best person in the world, because if you're the best person in the world, you're one. And that means you're always trying to be better than someone else. And so we really started to emphasize being the best person for the world. And what that means is that you are working with each other, trying to support each other and build each other up, and always trying to make someone else better as well as yourself.
Hey!